So two of probably the most popular cryptos is Bitcoin and ETH. And I think most people hold, maybe you hold some Bitcoin and ETH. I think what bugs me and maybe what bugs you is just sitting in your wallet and it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes down and your portfolio is worth typically around the same depending of when you got in. But I know for myself, my portfolio's just kind of been sideways for quite a while. And I'm like, I want to earn yield. But then you might be asking, but you don't want to lose upside potential of what if Bitcoin and ETH take off? Then what happens? And so I think today we're going to have a bit of a chat, and Gordon's going to kind of lead us through how he thinks through this. And I think Gordon, I think our community's been asking, or I'm not sure where this video was inspired from, but I know a lot of people are asking, like, can I put my Bitcoin and ETH to work? Can I earn some yield on it that's more than maybe my bank account or the stock market would return me? So what do you got
Yeah.
for Bitcoin ETH stuff?
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of this stems from having conversations with fast track clients and working with people one-on-one where they'll tell me like, hey, I have
Like a
like
million
this
bucks,
big,
some
yeah,
people.
I've got like this big bag of Bitcoin and it's just sitting there, or I've got this big bag of Ethereum and it's just sitting on a hardware wallet. And they're looking for ways to potentially put that capital to work. And you don't have to put all of it to work, but we have opportunities on protocols like Beefy through Camelot here. You can see in these examples, or on Uniswap, where you can take these. I call them like foundational or pillar assets because, as you alluded to, so many people own Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're often the first cryptos that people will buy when they get exposure
Yep.
to this space. And especially if you've been here for a few years, you're sitting on potentially a big bag of capital in these assets, and you want a way to put it to work. So why not allocate some of that at least into liquidity pools where we can earn additional yield? And this is exactly what we're doing with fast track clients. We're exploring ways and opportunities to put that capital to work, and we're just showing a couple of quick examples here on Beefy. I know you like Beefy and you've done lots of videos on it, where we can enter a pool with wrapped Bitcoin and ETH, and we can be earning upwards of 35-40% on those assets in a liquidity pool. And again, the benefit here is that it's not just sitting on a hardware wallet. You're turning this into capital that's working for you. It's going to continuously cash flow us and allow us to take that cash flow and reinvest or allocate elsewhere, or even use for some lifestyle chips. So yeah, I think so many people own these assets and have big bags, and it's just sitting there not doing anything. So let's be strategic. Let's put it to work. And the other element that you alluded to was, what happens when these assets really move to the upside? And we were looking at this chart a few minutes ago where, we're about 150 days post halving here. And typically we see Bitcoin starting to make some moves around this time over the next 3 to 6 months. And when it does, Ethereum's going to follow. And Bitcoin and Ethereum are actually quite highly correlated on a long time frame. So, we're going to have, a higher or a good likelihood of staying in range with these assets in these concentrated liquidity pools as they move to the upside. And we get to continuously participate in that price appreciation, all while earning cash flow. So that's the crux of the argument here and what I wanted to communicate. And yeah, I'm sure you've spoken with dozens of people who, just have so much Bitcoin and ETH sitting on the sidelines that could be put to work.
Doing nothing. I'm going to share my screen for a quick sec here. You can see my little position here on, how do I do this? One sec. So on this little Beefy portfolio, which by the way, I still have to claim some. You also get paid a bit of a bonus off Merkle in ARB, but that's a topic for different discussion. You could see that the yields, I've been in this for quite a while now, just letting it sit and compound itself. You could see they were a little bit, you could see a bit of a sharper incline as fees were a little higher, and then the fees are a little slower nowadays. So I'm actually really curious of why my APY is higher. I don't know if it's grabbing this because I've been in for so long. It's grabbing a little bit more higher data. I'm actually really curious of that to actually compare the two. But anywho, you can see every single day there's 1,500 worth of Bitcoin and 1,500 worth of BTC. 15.2, 15.3, 15.5, 15.9, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2000. I think my last video I did on this was around 2000 each, and now it's probably 22. Yeah, just shy of 22 here. So since yesterday, it was only an $8 day, but I just want to keep getting Bitcoin and ETH. Now, that said, you do have to be aware that things will rebalance and markets shift, and you do lock in some impermanent loss. So you do have to be aware of that. But again, if you use Beefy directly, it is a set and forget. You don't have to use Beefy. You could set your own ranges and you could jump over to Uniswap or whatever. But I've been playing with the CLM on Beefy, and so far it's been working pretty well. Plus, that's not taking into account any little extra fees there. So yeah, I mean, that's just to prove the fact that you can earn cash flow on assets that are just sitting around. That was on BTC USDC, by the way. That's why the APY is higher.
Yeah.
A BTC ETH would be a little more correlated. I'd be seeing less in fees, but maybe less in permanent loss. So all things, I'm sure they'd be equaled out. But if Bitcoin pumped now, I would miss out on a lot of that upside, which there has to be context because I do hold, I mean, relatively quite a bit of Bitcoin in a buy and hold wallet. So I wouldn't miss out on the upside of Bitcoin. If you don't, then you may want to use a different strategy than what you just saw, because that's just a percentage of my portfolio you just saw. So that's why it's really important too to like get education on what you're doing, because you might see someone on YouTube share, this is what I'm doing, but you don't have context that they might have $1 million buy and hold portfolio, and that's play money to them, and you might go all in on something that's maybe not in your best interest. So get the education, hang out on this channel, subscribe, check out these videos. If the UIG calls to you and you think community is important, which I just came back from Miami 1 week in community, and I saw probably 6 months of progress in my life in a week, because a community will hold you to some standard. And when you don't feel like doing something, a community can hold you to it. So I'm really big on that. Whether or not you see value in it, that's up to you. YouTube, in a way, is a community and it's free. So if the videos are helpful to you, like these videos, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who you think it could help. And I mean, with that said, I think we covered quite a bit in 10 minutes, Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of opportunities for Bitcoin and ETH. You know, it doesn't have to sit on the sidelines, and you can put it to work.